There's a radio frequency that doesn't exist. 94.7 FM. No license. No tower. No record of it ever being assigned. But every night at 2:17 a.m., it broadcasts. Not music. Not static. Coordinates. And last week, I followed the coordinates. I found a house. Inside, 14 people who were reported missing years ago. They weren't dead. They were listening, waiting for the next broadcast. My name's Alex. I work for the FCC. Not the FBI. Not the CIA. Just the boring agency that makes sure your radio doesn't bleed into someone else's. I monitor interference. Static. Pirate broadcasters. Most of it's teenagers with cheap transmitters. But last month, I found something that broke me. 94.7 FM. No license. No tower. No records at all. According to every database, that frequency is empty. But every night at 2:17 a.m., something broadcasts on it. Not music. Not voices. Just a series of tones. Short, long, short. Like Morse code but wrong. I recorded it for 3 weeks. I ran it through every decoding algorithm I have. Nothing made sense. Then I played it backward. It was coordinates. Latitude and longitude. Every single broadcast was a different location. I checked the first one. It was a farmhouse 40 miles outside the city. Abandoned. I drove there anyway. The farmhouse looked empty. No lights. No cars. But the door was unlocked. Inside, I found a bedroom. 14 sleeping bags. Not old. Fresh. Used recently. Pillows still warm. I touched one. The fabric was damp. On the wall, someone had drawn a map. Not of roads. Of radio towers. Dozens of them. Connected by lines. Like a web. And at the center of the web, 94.7 FM. I heard a noise behind me. A woman's voice. You hear it too? I turned around. She was thin. Dirty. But her eyes were sharp. She said her name was Elena. She disappeared 3 years ago. Her family had a funeral. And here she was, standing in an abandoned farmhouse, asking me about a radio frequency. I found it by accident, she said, scanning through static. And then the voice came on. Not every night. Just when someone needs to be found. I didn't believe her at first. But she showed me her phone. Dozens of messages from people she'd never met. All of them had heard the same frequency. All of them followed the coordinates. All of them ended up at places where other missing people were hiding. I asked her who broadcasts it. She said, I don't know, but I know how to find out. She explained the pattern. The coordinates weren't random. They formed a spiral. Each broadcast was closer to the center than the last. I plotted all of them. 43 locations over 6 years. And at the exact center of the spiral, a military communications tower. Decommissioned in 1995, but still standing. I checked who owned the tower. A shell company. That shell company was linked to a defense contractor. That defense contractor had a secret project in the 1990s. Project name, Lighthouse. I dug through old archives. Declassified documents. Lighthouse was a psychological operation. The goal was to create a broadcast that could target specific people. People who were lonely. People who felt invisible. People who wanted to disappear. The signal would make them trust it. Guide them. Relocate them. But the project was supposedly shut down in 1998. Too expensive. Too unethical. That's what the report said. I drove to the tower. The gate was locked. New lock. New chain. Someone was maintaining it. I climbed the fence. The building at the base was warm. Lights on. I looked through the window. A room full of monitors. And a man sitting in front of them. Not old. Maybe 40. He was typing. Coordinates. I recognized his face. He was listed in the Lighthouse documents as a junior technician. 26 years old in 1998. He would be in his 50s now. But this man was younger. Or maybe he just looked younger because he never left. I broke in. He didn't even turn around. He just said, "Took you long enough." I asked him why. Why broadcast coordinates to missing people? Why bring them to abandoned places? He said, "I'm not bringing them anywhere. I'm just telling them where the others are. They choose to go. They choose to stay." He said Lighthouse never really shut down. It just went private. Off the books. No government. No military. Just a few people who believed in the mission. Find the ones who want to vanish. Give them a place to go. No questions. No records. He pointed to the monitors. 14 live feeds. The farmhouse. The basement. The warehouse. All the places where the broadcasts led. And on the screens, people. Sleeping. Eating. Reading. Living. They're not prisoners, he said. They're residents. They checked out of society. We just provide the address. I called the police. They came. They arrested him. But when they went to the locations on the monitors, the places were empty. No sleeping bags. No people. Just dust and cobwebs. He had warned them. Somehow, he had triggered an alarm. Everyone scattered. At his trial, they couldn't prove anything. No bodies. No victims. Just a man broadcasting coordinates to empty buildings. He got 6 months for trespassing. Before they took him away, he looked at me. He smiled. He said, "You think I'm the only one? There are dozens of us. Hundreds. We're everywhere. And we're still broadcasting. Just on different frequencies now. You'll never find them all. I still have the recordings. I still listen sometimes. Not because I want to find them. Because I want to hear if the pattern changes. If the spiral gets tighter. If it points to something new." Last night, the coordinates were different. They weren't a farmhouse or a warehouse. They were a residential address. My address. I'm not sleeping anymore. I'm just waiting for 2:17 a.m. The frequency is still live. And I think it's calling me now. If I stop posting, you'll know where I went.